Good day everyone, my name is Rushil Jaga, Investment Specialist at Prudential Investment Managers, and today I'll be talking to you about offshore investing. Investing offshore is a great way to diversify your portfolio, not only as a hedge against a depreciating currency and other emerging market risks, but because South Africa also represents less than 1% of the total market value of globally listed shares. This gives you an opportunity to diversify your portfolio across a range of other shares, segments and industries globally. If you're invested in a local unit trust, you most likely will have some offshore exposure, either indirectly or directly. On average, if you look at the balanced funds in South Africa, around 25% of that is directly invested in offshore asset classes. If you add to that many of these balanced funds also invest in local listed companies, which earn revenue from offshore, that effective exposure goes up to 50%. Well, if you look at the composition of the JSE All Share Index, you'll see that around 52% of the offshore earnings that come from the JSE come from resource companies. Now, these companies are heavily geared towards the Chinese economy. So overall, your offshore exposure within your local unit trust may not be as diversified as you may think. I think what you need to do is look at offshore funds or investments that complement your local holdings and that diversify away from the sectors and the shares that are represented on the JSE. Fortunately, Prudential, through its parent company M&G, have partnered up and launched a range of US dollar denominated funds that seek to do just that. So there are 4 funds in the fund range. There's a global bond fund, a global inflation plus fund, a global balance fund, and a global equity fund. The global bond fund would typically be used by investors seeking to achieve some exposure to fixed income instruments. The global inflation plus and the global balance funds are multi-asset class funds which are broadly diversified, with the inflation plus fund targeting a lower risk profile and the global balance fund targeting a risk profile which is slightly higher and offering more growth opportunities over the long term. And lastly, the global equity fund is the most aggressive fund in the product suite, offering exposure to globally listed shares. There are 2 ways to invest in the Prudential Global Funds. The first is via our US dollar denominated funds directly. That process would entail you externalizing your money and converting your rands into US dollars and investing via a local offshore investment platform. The second way would be to invest in our rand feeder funds. So there you do not need to externalize your money. You can simply invest directly in our funds as they are denominated in rands. They feed 100% into our offshore funds, and your returns will also be based in rands. Thank you very much for your time today, and contact us if you have any further questions. Thank you.